So this week, the parsha we're building the temple, the tabernacle, the Mishkan, which is a temporary temple they used in the desert. Temporary because it actually stood for a few hundred years until they built the actual temple by King Solomon. But it was temporary because it was a structure built that you can take it down, put it back up, take it down, put it back up. And they did that as they traveled in the desert. So they're told to build the walls out of cedar wood or acacia wood, which in Hebrew is called atzei shittim. The word atzei means wood or trees of, and shittim means acacia or cedar. Now, what's interesting is Chassidut points out that the word shittim comes from the word shtut. You've heard the word shtut in Hebrew? Mm-hmm. To act silly. And so Chassidus talks about how there's two kinds of silly. Right? There's silly that's irrational. Let's say being rational, behaving normally would be to follow what God wants. It's the rational thing to do. Behaving irrationally, foolishly, is to break the rules. But then there is not being irrational, but being super rational. So let's say the rule says all I have to do is this. Classic example. The rule says I only have to give 10%. I'll give more. The rule says I fulfilled my obligation by by having this kind of, I can get standard mezuzah and it's all kosher, but then I can go a little beyond doing super rational.
Which is better.
Which is, of course, better. So it's not irrational, it's super rational. So I'm doing more than I'm supposed to, right? I actually saw one such example, like rational says that the more you work, the more money you get. Mm-hmm. Super rational, Jewish crazy says, the more you study Torah, the more you pray, and the more charity you give, the more you get. It's a crazy it's a super rational, crazy kind of thing, right? So I guess where I'm going is that, especially in our generation, people have they have a crazy inside of them. They have this thing about them that they want to be different, they want to stand out, they want to, right? Mm-hmm. So you can do it in two ways, right? Mm-hmm. So one way says, okay, you can't be crazy, you got to be normal. The other way says, okay, you got a little crazy inside you, be crazy in a good sense. So you want to stand out? All right, so you wear your kippah even when it's not popular. So you're being crazy, but in the positive sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you said you got something on that?
So, me coming into my new school, I was it was a change, mm-hmm. and it was a big change, but I sort of wanted to I didn't really want to be low-key about it or discreet. I wanted to come in with
about being Jewish, you mean?
Yeah, about being everything. I didn't want to be
who I am, why I'm here, what I'm doing.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there and be just that quiet kid. So I sort of.
That's pretty much not how you do anything.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm I'm not known in this school, but basically every kid knows me because I'm very good at basketball apparently.
Right.
And that's how a lot of people know me.
Right.
Because I'm very good at basketball, which is I'm standing out and I'm crazy, but not in a bad way, not because of anything bad, because of what I could do. Right. And because.
Right, so standing out isn't in and of itself bad. Depends how it's used. It's a lot of things. Probably most things, actually. Right, things that are not kosher are not kosher. But most things that are kosher, or most things that exist in this world, can either be used in a good way or in a bad way.
Exactly.
Right? And I guess standing out is one such thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're standing out because you're doing something, you're breaking the rules and that's getting your attention, or you're, standing out in that, doing something positive. When everybody's,
exactly.
Give an example, when everybody's ganging up on somebody and you stand out then to say, no, I'm stopping this, it could be a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Right? But, and the cool thing to do is to go with the flow, but you're going to stand out. So it's standing out in a good way. Right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it's sort of, you collaborate and sort of reflect it to everything. You could be crazy about it in a good way, or crazy about it in a bad way, or you could fit in a good way, or
fit in a bad way. That's true. So even fitting in has its both sides.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost like the best example actually is the internet.
Exactly.
the internet isn't anything. It's not good or bad.
Yeah.
When people talk about the generations, oh my gosh, the internet's so terrible. Well, it's not good or bad. It depends how you use it. It depends what you do.
Exactly.
Right?
So you could use it to hate on someone, or sort of like to discreetly or unknowingly, like, you know, bash on someone.
Yeah. Meaning like anonymously.
Yeah. Or like put them down, but they won't know because it's social media, so whatever. That's in a bad way. Or you can use it, you could look at Torah, you could look at good videos, inspiring videos, stuff like that, and you use it in a good way. Or look at the news, it's not good or bad. Right.
So it's like, yeah, I guess you're talking about social media. So like social media is like I like to think of it like it's a megaphone.
Exactly.
Meaning, so it's not like, it doesn't create new bad or new good.
It's a worldwide.
It's just it's a way of you promoting whatever it is you're feeling. So if you decide that you want to use your platform to spread negative stuff, that's what it's going to become. It'll become super negative. But if you want to use it to promote good things, it's going to become super good because it's supercharged, megaphone, blasting whatever it is you're...
So it sort of depends on how you involve yourself into it.
Yeah, I remember thinking about it because YouTube's... their tagline is broadcast yourself. Is it still their tagline? It certainly used to be.
I think so.
I think it still is, right? YouTube, broadcast yourself. I remember first seeing it for the first time a long time ago. And broadcast yourself. And I'm like, wait, but who's myself? Like, what am I broadcasting?
Exactly.
Right? So the broadcasting is not the problem. The problem is, the question is...
yourself.
Yeah. I'm broadcasting myself. Okay, well, is that going to be good? Or is that going to be just hating and terrible and bullying and whatever, right? So, like, another example, like, so you hear all these stories of people who were bullied online and all kinds of terrible things, which is for sure terrible.
Exactly.
But you also see the reverse, which doesn't get as much on the news because
it's
good news is not news.
Exactly.
Right? You never see on the news, so-and-so woke up in the morning, had breakfast with his family, went to work, and paid his taxes. But that's the majority of the world's doing. Exactly. You only see the news when, oh my gosh, this guy stole or whatever, right? So... simply with the kind of the social media, you see the stories about like bullying, but you also have stories of, let's say, a kid who's kind of quirky, right? So he doesn't have any friends in school, but if he goes online, he finds other kids like him, and now all of a sudden he feels like he doesn't feel like he's alone, right? So everything has a positive and negative element, and the question is how.
Yeah. So you say imprint yourself towards social media,
right?
And like if someone random, like someone from not this planet, looks on the news and sees, oh, the world is like this type of thing, versus if like it's a big difference because it's sort of like not fitting in, but it's like, am I gonna show good news, bad news, like?
In other words, imagine if someone came from another planet and you wanted to explain to them what our world's like.
Yes.
What would you say?
Yeah, you obviously wouldn't show them the news that's bad because
it's
bad. That's all. That's all that's gonna show them. The person wouldn't want to come. So you would sort of want to show them like what the majority of the world is like,
which is really good. The truth is that unfortunately, people, I guess I don't know what it is, but I guess people enjoy reading. I know people enjoy reading bad news, but certainly news media likes to show bad things.
Yeah, and it's more captivating than seeing like not a rescue man, because that's
a heroic story. But there are no headlines that say everything in Hampstead's fine.
Yeah,
it's a boring headline, but that's the reality. Everything in Hampstead is fine, and with the majority of the world, it's fine. But it's not a news story, right?
Exactly, and of course, social media also like exaggerates everything.
It's the megaphone. So if it's gonna be bad, it's gonna be terrible.
And if it's good, it's nothing.
Right. So that's the challenge. We actually have to use the platform to promote good things,
which is hard in a way, because if like all people see is bad things and you put one good thing, yes, you're standing out, but it's not as useful to what other people are seeing.
Right. You're saying it's difficult to compete.
Yeah,
with exciting bad news when you're trying to So I guess that's the good kind of crazy.
Yeah, and that's in a way of standing out too.
Right. To make it a point of doing something that's going to attract attention to what's good and positive.
Exactly, and you could do what everyone else is doing and getting millions of views and just put bad news, whatever,
or just plain old garbage.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly, or you could put good news and stand out in a good way, but you don't have the chance of getting 4 million views.
Right. But just taking a stand in the right direction.
Exactly.
Right. So it's kind of interesting. You were talking before about studying Torah using the internet. Imagine and this is a reality. Imagine you met your great-great-grandparent, right? You told them that in your pocket you have a device that gives you access to all of Torah, and the same device gives me access to hate on every person in the world.
Which is crazy.
It's crazy, right? But it's crazy in both directions. Like, whichever one you told somebody 100 years ago, they would think you're crazy. And the reality is we all walk around with this device in our pocket that has the ability to do crazy things in a very positive way, or crazy things in a very...
Exactly, and there's no reason why someone shouldn't, or why you can't. If you have the device, you obviously have the choice to hold back, or sort of like you could hate, and then you could show love, but there's nothing stopping that like wall between hate and love.
Exactly. No, there's no like warning sign that says you're about to do something terrible, or warning sign that says this is the good direction. It's all in your choice. It's all in your power. It's all in your hand.
And also you have nothing blocking you from giving love.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
Right.
You have the complete choice to do it.
Right.
And there's nothing stopping you from showing hate, and people, and like you could think it's unknown.
I'll give you an example. Like when you see, it's a small example, but it brings it to the point. When you see something that someone did online, right? Or let's say you see somebody, a picture or whatever, and people are commenting, bad things, right? Mm-hmm. You could just scroll through it and say, like, oh, this is just the internet. Or you can actually post something positive on that very thing. Or if you don't want to be exposed, you can actually private message a person and say, like, hey, I see it, but he's doing this. Ignore the haters. People still love you. It's something small like that, right? But it's a little encouraging word, even if the person's a stranger. It doesn't matter, right? You have the ability now to reach people in a positive way you never had before.
Exactly. Until the person tells you want to meet up, and then...
Well, either it does happen or doesn't happen. If it's a stranger, I don't know if you want to go do that, but...
Exactly.
I know what you mean, though.
And even if you don't meet up, it's completely not dangerous for you literally to show someone love.
Exactly.
No matter who, like, it could be a complete stranger. And even if, like, you don't want to give away your account, make a random account.
So you don't want to give your name.
Exactly.
Right.
Make a random account.
Right, so using the anonymous thing in both ways. The anonymous thing it's like a shield when you're doing bad things. But if you're embarrassed of good things, the anonymous also works to your advantage too.
Or not embarrassed, but you just like don't want...
You're worried about someone hacking your thing.
Exactly.
You don't want someone hacking your profile or whatever it is. But yeah, so everything has like this positive and negative, right? Which is another interesting thing, tying it back to the parsha. So like the boards are made out of the shittim wood, which is, I said, it comes from the word shtut, which means foolish. Exactly. So either being crazy in the bad sense or being crazy in the good sense. And the point is to take the crazy in me that would do something negative and actually use it in a good way. Related to that is a similar thing where the name, so the wood is called shittim, right? But the boards are called keresh. Keresh, there are 3 letters, kuf, resh, shin. If you mix around the letters, you get the word shin, kuf, resh, which means sheker, lie. Take the same letters, you rearrange them, and you make kesher, a bond. Right, so it's the same item that can either be a lie, something terrible, or a bond, a connection, something in a good way.
Exactly.
Right, so it's the same stuff, but they can be used in all kinds of different ways. And that's, right, I guess the point is not to think of everything as bad just because they're used in a bad way.
Exactly.
If it's used in a bad way, it could be used in a good way. Unless something's not kosher. Something's not kosher food, not kosher behavior, that's just not kosher. It's off limits, right? And then you have things that are holy. A synagogue's holy, tefillin, Torah, whatever. Shabbos is holy, right? But then the majority of things in the world are in this neutral zone in which you can decide which way it goes.
Exactly. Right? And you could even, like, a person, not a bad person, a person who's not behaving, it doesn't mean they're a bad person.
That's right.
So you could always turn it around. 100%.
That's what I was about to say. Personality is the same thing. There's no such thing as a good personality or bad personality. Every personality, if a person's loud, well, in what way are you loud?
Exactly.
A person's quiet. In what way are you quiet?
If someone's loud in a bad way, it's not that they're a bad person. It's one characteristic of them that you don't like. Maybe someone else could like it, or quiet, maybe.
Or even they're genuinely using their voice to spread not good things, they can use that same voice to spread good things. It's not
exactly. And if they are quiet, maybe they're thinking of something bad, but they're smart enough not to say it and hurt someone's feelings. So
right. So in other words, it's not the things you have inside you, but it's how you use them.
exactly.
This is true of literally 90% of things.
So you could,
Personality, people, relationships, internet, phone, social media, all the stuff we're talking about here can all be used in a good way or a negative way, and that's the choice, including the crazy in me. Getting back to kind of the beginning.
exactly. Or even most, like, in modern society, is most important money.
Yeah,
That's a huge factor too.
it can go both ways.
You could spend it on useless stuff and burn all of it, or you could give it to tzedakah, use it to help other people, use it to...
Yeah. The business itself too.
Yeah.
The business itself can be built in such a way where other people get hurt, or business can be built in such a way that people get hired and get jobs.
Exactly.
Everything. Yeah, absolutely. Especially, you're right. In modern society, it's a big it's a big thing. Is money, right? And the question is how you use it.
Exactly.
Very cool. Anything else to wrap up? Yeah, it's very nice.